Welcome to Module 1. In this module, we're going to talk about what is debt, and we'll get into some specific examples with numbers, and we'll talk about some general examples of debt. So, what is debt? Well, when you don't have the cash in your pocket to go out and buy something that you want, you have to take on debt. You have to get that money from someone else. So essentially, you're borrowing money from someone. And in exchange for borrowing those funds, they're going to charge you for that. They're not just going to give it to you out of the kindness of their heart. They're going to charge you for that. And it's called interest. They charge you an interest rate. And interest is charged differently depending on the type of debt that you have. And we'll talk about that a little bit. So again, just you borrow money from someone, they charge you interest. Your interest rate is a huge component of debt, of what debt is. If you can somehow get a 0% interest rate, and sometimes that exists, sometimes on credit cards or sometimes on a brand new car, they'll give you 0%, which means you're just paying the payment of the debt of whatever the amount that you, what we call, financed or got the loan on. And that's great. You need to take advantage of those opportunities. And then we'll talk about how you manage that debt. You have to stay on top of that to keep your 0%. So let's talk about some examples of what debt actually looks like and why the interest rate is such a huge determining factor of if you should take on that debt or not. So here we show two loans. The first loan is for $35,000. So call it a car, call it a home equity loan, whatever the type of loan you want to call it. But it's for $35,000 in debt. You financed $35,000. And the interest rate is 4%, which is a pretty good interest rate right now. Now, in your first year, on $35,000, you will pay $1,400 in interest. So imagine what you could buy with $1,400. You're going to pay $1,400 just to get the 35 grand. So that's on top of the 35 grand. So think for a second, if you got a bill in the mail for $1,400, would that stress you out? Would that make you happy? Probably not super happy. $1,400 is a lot of money. And that's only 4%. Okay, second example. We now have the same $1,400 interest payment, but the interest percentage is 20%. What does this mean? 20% versus 4% means you could only borrow $7,000 for that same interest payment. You want to keep the interest payment dollars-wise the same, $1,400. But when you up that interest rate, this shows you how powerful an interest rate is.